right, there are 4 types of membranes in the body. And the first one is cutaneous membranes. So cutaneous membranes are just the skin. That is your cutaneous membrane. It's a dry membrane, the only dry membrane of the body. So we'll talk about that when we get to the integumentary system, which is the skin. The next type of membrane is, or are, the Saris membranes. So we talked about these already. These are closed membranes, meaning that they are not exposed to the environment. They're not exposed to the outside. Okay, so when you have a serous membrane around the heart, the lungs, the abdomen, so all those cavities and those organs are covered in serous membranes. There's a parietal, which covers the walls of the cavity, and a visceral, which covers the organs. So what we've got, the pleural, the pericardial, and the peritoneum. Okay, so we'll be going over those, as we go through the different organ systems as well. Okay, but you should be aware of what they are, and should know those by now because we already went over those. So the third one I want to talk about are the mucous membranes. Also called the mucosae or mucosa. These are open membranes. Okay. Mucous membranes are basically made out of an epithelial tissue. So it's epithelial plus a connective tissue. And again, they line a tube of the body that is open to the environment. So it's not, so the stuff that's in this type of tube or membrane is not really in the body. Okay. So if we look at, let's make a little picture here. Okay, so your cutaneous membrane, of course, is the skin. So that's this here. Just kind of color that in there. So that's the skin, that is the cutaneous membrane. And again, we're going to talk about that when we get to the chapter on the skin. The Saris membranes, again, are around the heart, the lungs, and the abdomen. Okay, so those are Saris membranes. They're going to cover the the lungs, the cavities of the lungs, the heart, the cavity of the heart, and then the cavity where the abdominal organs are. All right, so the mucous membranes are going to be lined tubes that are open to the environment. So that's going to mean your digestive tube or tract, your respiratory tract, your urinary tract, and the reproductive tract. So the tube that runs from your mouth all the way down and out this way, those are going to be covered with mucous membranes. Okay, your urethra, which comes from your bladder here, is going to be covered with mucous membranes. The tubes that are part of the reproductive tract, so the vagina, those places are going to be covered with mucous membranes. Okay, so all four of those. And again, it's an epithelial tissue with a connective tissue that makes up the mucous membranes. Okay, so the last type of membrane, so number 4 here, are the synovial membranes. And these are membranes that are in joint cavities. So we won't talk anything about synovial membranes right now. We'll wait till we get to the joints, and then we'll talk specifically about synovial membranes. Okay, so the next video we're going to start chapter 5, which is the skin. So we're going to focus on the cutaneous membrane, which is the skin.